And we had a chat with Representative Patrick Umoh to give insight into some of the bills and issues in Parliament.
I've been very involved in the steps by the House of Representatives to reform our tax regime as a country through the instrumentality of the legal framework. The basis is that it is our responsibility as a parliament to make laws that can engender economic growth in our country, and one of which is the consolidation of tax laws for a seamless tax regime that can unbundle the economic challenges we have in our country today and improve our revenue generation, the gross domestic product of our country, and place Nigeria on a global map. The essence of the tax reform is basically to harmonize the tax regime to ensure that Nigerians who pay tax also enjoy the outcomes. And we also intend to reduce proliferation of subheads for payment of taxes. Essentially, the law frowns at double taxation. And of course, there is no restraint to trade. So we're looking at a situation where we have the Federal Inland Revenue being the Nigeria Inland Revenue Service. So there will be a change of name, basically, transforming that agency or that establishment of government to collect tax for the federation. That will help our country in terms of economic growth. It will boost economic growth, it will boost development, and economic growth is a key priority area in our legislative agenda. So we have about four tax bills that we have consolidated and we're going to work on in subsequent plenaries so as to ensure that we have a proper legal framework to cater for those concerns as relates to value-added tax, personal income tax, and company taxes in their respects, so that Nigerians will also enjoy a seamless tax regime. Of course, there was a simulation exercise wherein we saw how it is and how it will be. So it was clearly explanatory. So it is just for us to allow the technocrats align their thoughts with the framework that we have as legislators, as a parliament, so that we can make for economic growth. See, it is not esoteric to have concerns from here and there. It is part and parcel of a democratic setting. That's the setup. And so if Nigerians are also saying from where they are coming from that they have suspicions, it's allowed. That's why we'll have a full-blown public hearing, and then we'll also consider these concerns and come up with a law that to cater for these concerns. Well, from the simulation exercise we had with the technocrats, I'm convinced that it is the best for the country. We have people paying overhead counts of taxes, whereas if we harmonize them, simplify them, and adopt the global best practice, it will be better for our economy. That will even give strength to the naira, and what we use, the purchasing strength of our country will be better off. And it implicates on even the budget that we have, the day-to-day economic experiences that we have, even in buying and selling, even in full-blown trading. So it is important that the Nigerian public will have a buy-in into what is going on. I know this is the era of social media, so everyone is entitled to his opinion. But then the reality is that we have also employed the services of consultants to advise us properly. And I think, speaking for myself and my constituency, that tax reforms are very necessary for economic growth of our country. I would say we've done our very best, and the bills that we have improved the quality of bills in the House, and then we've also tried to use the medium term framework to assess the performances of some committees whose responsibilities implicate directly on the agenda. And so far, a lot has happened. It's the People's House. We have improved access to parliamentary business. It's an open parliament. That's why uh, you have it is streamed live for Nigerians to see the work we're doing in parliament. And like I said earlier, the quality of legislations, the bills, the motions, the oversight that members engage themselves in. We evaluate these things, we monitor these things, and we come out with our scorecards. In the last 1 year, 5 months, we achieved so much as a house, and bills have been passed into law, and reforms have been made. And I must also applaud the executive for the partnership, because without which all of what we've done would be in vain. And the collaboration within the House, with the Senate and the House of Representatives, and that of the executive have been commendable. But we also need Nigerians to be patient, because in the nearest future, the outcomes will become very obvious. The areas we need a push are the areas we are giving our major concentration, which is economic reforms and national security. Once we're able to tackle those key areas, not just by legislation, but when there's a complementarity between what we do as legislators and what the executive is doing, and the partnership and understanding or cooperation of Nigerians, the outcomes will be visible, manifestly visible. That is it. So we need a push, because we need the cooperation of all Nigerians. We need this. Civil societies must cooperate with us in advocating on gender issues, on economic reforms, on inclusion, on law reforms, on anti-corruption, on national security, on economic diversification, on climate change, and even environmental sustainability, which are key areas in the agenda. The Nigerian economy will drive. So all hands must be on deck, which is our advocacy as a parliament, which is why we have made the parliament a people's house, so that Nigerians will be part and parcel of what we're doing. We are representatives of the people first and foremost. And it is that mandate that enables us to work for Nigerians. So we have tried to strengthen the social contract between the people and ourselves as their representatives. So that is it. We need the cooperation of Nigerians. That's where we need the push.
And that was Representative Patrick Umoh providing insight into some of the bills and issues in Parliament. That concludes this episode of the program. Do join us again next week for a fresh episode. I am Mitaire Ikben. Bye for now.